In this lecture, we are going to work on Redux state management tool setup. We are going to use Redux for state management in this React application. And in order to work with React Redux, we need to install some Redux related packages first. So for that, let's go to our terminal. Here, let's go to this tab. Let me clear the terminal here. And in order to work with the Redux, we are going to install three packages. So to install package from npm, we use npm command. We are going to install a package and we want to install Redux. We are going to install React Redux and we are also going to install Redux.js/toolkit. Let's press enter. So let's wait for the installation to complete. All right, so these three packages have been installed. Let's go to VS Code. Let's quickly verify that. So let's go to package.json and in there, let's go to dependencies. So you can see Redux.js/toolkit has been installed. Then Redux has been installed and React Redux that has also been installed. And these are the three packages we need in order to work with state management using Redux. So let's close this package.json file. Now the next thing which we are going to do is to understand how the state management works with Redux, we are going to create a simple state. So for that, in the source folder, I'm going to create a new folder and I'll call it as Redux. And in this folder, we are going to keep all the files related to state management. And inside this folder, the first file which I'm going to create is loader slice. And inside this, we are going to create a loader slice. Okay, and to create a loader slice, we are going to create a variable. Let's call it loader slice. Okay, and to create a slice in Redux toolkit, we use create slice method. And to use this create slice method, we need to install from Redux toolkit. Okay, and to this, we need to pass an object. And in there, we need to specify a name for the slice. We are going to call it as loader. Then we also need to specify an initial value. So for that, we can use initial state property. So initially, let's say this state is going to be false. And finally, we also need to specify reducer. So again, this is going to be an object. And inside this, we specify the actions which we can perform on this slice. Basically, just think of this as a state. Here we are creating a state with the name loader. We are setting an initial value for that as false. And then we are going to specify some action on that. If I go to protected route.js, there you will see that when we created this user state, for this user state, we specified an initial value. And in order to update this user state, we also created this set user function. So using this set user, we update the value of this user state. In the same way here also, we are creating a state with the name loader. Initial value for that state is false. And then in here, we are going to specify an action using which we can update the value of this state. So here we are going to specify two actions, show loader. To this, we are going to assign a function which is going to receive the current state. And there we are going to set state.loader equals true. Okay, so whenever this show loader will be called, this action will be called, it is going to update the value of this loader state to true. In the same way, we are also going to have another action and we are going to call it as hide loader. And to this also, we are going to assign an object which is going to receive the current state. And inside this function, we are simply going to set state.loader to false. Okay. So we are creating a state, we are setting an initial value for this state, and then we are creating a reducer which is containing some actions using which we can update the value of this loader state. Now what we are going to do is we are going to export two properties. We want to export show loader and we want to export hide loader. So these are the variable names. Now we want to assign this show loader variable with loader slice dot actions. Okay, so this loader slice dot actions, it is going to return us this reducer. In that reducer, we have this show loader property, which will be assigned to this show loader, and we have this hide loader property, which will be assigned to this hide loader. And what this show loader and hide loader storing? It is storing the state updating functions. Okay, and what we are also going to export is we are going to export the loader slice dot reducer, and we are going to export it as default. So let's simply say export default. So this is our loader slice file where we are creating a state with the name loader, and this is going to allow us to use this state globally in our React application instead of creating a loader state in each file where we want to use it. Now we are going to create a store. So in the Redux folder, I'm going to create a new file and I'm going to call it as store.js. Inside this store.js, first of all, we are going to import configure store from Redux toolkit, and we are also going to import the loader reducer from this loader slice. So as you can see, from this loader slice, we are exporting this loader reducer. So this is a default export. So this will be assigned to this loader reducer. Then we are going to create a store. Let's simply call it as store. And to create this store, we are going to use configure store. To that, we are going to pass an object. And in that object, we are going to create a reducer. And to that, we are going to assign this loader reducer. Basically, here we are creating a property called loader reducer, and to that we want to assign this loader reducer variable. Okay, now since the name is same here in ES6, if the property name is same as the variable name which we are assigning to it, then we don't need to do the assignment explicitly. We can simply specify the property name, and JavaScript is smart enough to understand that to this property we want to assign this variable. Finally, let's go ahead and let's export this store as default. Now in this store, currently we are storing only one state, but in future we are going to create multiple states, just like how we have created this loader state in this loader slice file. In the same way, we are also going to create multiple states for chat, for messages, for users, etc. And this store will keep all those states. And then we are going to use this store to access those states globally in our React application. Now, how are we going to do that? Let's see that. So let's save this file as well. So the store is also created. Our loader slice is also created. Now we are going to provide this store to our application. So the main file of our application is index.js. This is the file which gets rendered in the web page. Okay, so here what we are going to do is, first of all, in here, we are going to import the store from, so from the current folder, let's go to Redux folder. And in that Redux folder, we have this store.js file from where we are exporting the store as default. So that will be assigned to this store variable. And we are also going to import provider from React Redux. And now what we are going to do is, here instead of react.strict mode, we are going to use this provider. And let's also add the closing provider here. And using this provider, we want to provide this store. So for that, here we can say store equals this store. And in this way, this store will be available throughout our application. And in this store, whatever state we will have, we will be able to access it throughout our React application. Okay, so let's save this file. And with this, we should be able to access the loader state which we have created here from anywhere inside our React application. And we are going to use this state in our next lecture. So let me go and let me close this protected route.js. Let's also close this user.js. Let's keep this loader slice.js and store.js here. And let me close this index.js file. So in the next lecture, let's go ahead and let's use this loader state in our application.